Welcome, everybody, back to another Boldcast Reaction. I'm Carson.
I'm Lindsay. I'm angry.
And this is Naruto Shippuden episode 459. Dare I ask what happened last time?
Last time, they replaced my favorite villain with my least favorite addition to the Naruto universe. We'll see what happens this time.
Indeed. Leave a like, subscribe, check out Patreon, and can I just say, I'm holding my tongue. If everyone else can just relax in the comments before we get, at least until we can give a full, take on the whole thing, let's just chill the fuck out. That's all I'm saying. Hope you enjoy. Leave a like, subscribe. Let's go. So now, welcome, Patreon and future people, to OP 18. Really good opening. And I guess OP 20 as well. Or no, 18 and 19, not 20. So let's get into opening 18. This is a really good one. Okay, now, OP 19. I guess we'll just watch this episode.
And the OP will be in there.
And the OP will be in there. Okay.
I'm so scared.
Yeah?
I'm really scared.
Well, let's get into it.
Chakra.
Yeah. Not only Ten Tails chakra, but the chakra of every creature.
Mm-hmm.
Use my body. Become one again. Yes. Awaken God Almighty, progenitor of all chakra. Thus, the tale of revival concludes here. It's chakra.
Looking at me like that.
You hate to see it, don't you?
I do.
Elephant?
Oh yeah, I was supposed to say elephant.
Kaguya Ōtsutsuki.
What'd you think of that OP?
It was a good OP. It was nice.
Why are you? You can just say.
I actually like the OP. I really like the song. I genuinely really like the song, and I like the colors, looking like something out of Jojo with the like vaporwave clouds and stuff. That was pretty cool. I'm just like.
You can let it out if you need to.
No,
I'm saying
I liked the OP, but I don't like.
I know what you're saying. I just want you to, if you need to get it out so that you can at least enjoy what's going on or be open to it, or do you think that saying it too much will?
I don't want to say it too much because I don't know what's gonna happen, and I feel like I'm just saying I don't really like it. And I'm disappointed because Madara was such a good villain, and I don't really like villains very often, and I really liked him and I respected his powers and abilities. And now this bitch has just shown up out of fucking no, apparently to build an army of white Zetsus. For what? Who are you fighting? You're the only person left alive. And what even happened to her before? Did the Sage of Six Paths defeat her? Was that Sealed her. First mistake. Should have killed her. Yeah.
I just want you to be able to actually say it, what you're thinking, because I can feel, you turn so quickly from, I love this, to, I fucking hate this so much. I can feel it, and I don't want it to fester. I want you to be open to saying what you're feeling, so that you can you can be present in the moment and not just seething because you have shit to say and you don't want to say it. That's all I'm trying to say.
Okay.
So I'm glad you said it. Don't hold back, but
I know, I just feel bad because I'm like, is everyone gonna come for me because I don't like it, even though to me it just seems kind of silly. Like, and what I liked about the stuff with Madara and Obito is that it had been planned for a really long time. Like, it was clearly set up from the beginning and, like, worked into every part of the story. And then it feels like it just got fucking tacked on in this last arc to, like, epic, to make it even more epic. Oh, we'll bring in, the Sage of the Six Paths was, like, basically the original, like,
the god.
That was as far back as we had ever gone. Well, now that we're amping up to the end here, we need something even better than him. So we'll give it his mom, who was, like, the original, like, most powerful goddess of the world. And then we'll have, like, Naruto and Sasuke defeat her to, like, clean up the starting of it all, but, like, do like what the sage couldn't do, and like with the power of his sons, like take her down. You know what I mean?
I will say, I'm going to save what I have, my whole thing, but you are not the only person, far from the only person with that opinion. I will say that. I just hope. I don't hope anything.
Okay.
I hope that you can still enjoy the show from here on out.
I really want to. I really love this show. So that's why I'm so, like,
I completely understand. I totally understand. That's totally valid. Are you about to cry? Oh, no. You just hate it so much. Are you okay? Okay.
Just really want to like it and I don't, so I'm really sad.
You want to take a break? Okay. I might cut it out soon.
Okay. I feel like I was really liking where the story was going, and, like, I felt like no matter, like, how it ended up or, like, what they did, like, while still on that storyline, that I would be okay with it because it was with a villain that I, like, respected as a villain and liked to see as a villain. And, like, Naruto's good. I finally like Sasuke again. Sakura leaves a little bit left to be desired, but, like, whatever. But, so it's just, like, everything was really, really working. And then, and I had already had a problem with the Kaguya stuff, so then they just get rid of Madara and replace him with Kaguya, who has, like, I don't know. It's not as personal with her. It's just she shows up and is just like, yes, it is me. I am here, ready to take the power scaling to a whole other level. Yeah. I don't know. It's just
They basically just did what they did with Madara of bringing back this ancient evil, but they needed to be like, first of all, Madara was too fucking powerful. Second of all, they just wanted to take it to a higher level. They wanted to make it bigger and bigger and bigger, and now it's too big.
The thing, that's what
it's
happened.
bigger than the personal stakes.
It's the reason why Madara coming back and being so powerful worked was because literally since part 1 they've been I'm pretty sure in part 1
we saw his statue at the end of part 1, but then we heard his name at the beginning of Shippuden.
And we've been told, like, again and again, like, Madara was, like, unbelievable. The only person who could defeat him was Hashirama, who was also, like, on another fucking level that the world has never seen. You know what I mean?
And then we see he has Hashirama's chakra.
So then
he's
when he's even more powerful, then you're like, he has created. And then we get into the two brothers and how it's like a literal reincarnation. And it's like, okay, he has literally turned himself into a Sage of Six Paths, and then he gets the 10 tails, and then he just literally is, because he has both types of chakra. He's he's all one. He's so powerful, but it feels earned, and it's still personal because he had like seeded so much of the stuff, all the stuff with Obito, which was deeply connected to
And
everyone
Pain.
else, and Pain. It's like he had his hands in every part of the story. And then for Black Zetsu to just jump out of nowhere and be like, no, actually, me and my mom, or like, me and Kaguya, who actually created me, you didn't do that. You were just a puppet all along.
And White Zetsus aren't just plants. They are people.
Even though he like made he made White Zetsus, but I guess that was just part of the elaborate plan that he thought he made them, but he didn't.
There's going to be a war in the comments because there's two factions of, I'm a part of your faction. I agree with you 100%. It's fucking, I was going to save it, but since like it's just bad. It's not good. I hate to do that at the end of this. It's like, I have my problems with Naruto, but I'm on your side, but there is another side that I believe is incapable of letting Naruto have faults as a show, and they're unwilling to let Naruto be what it is, which is a show with a lot of problems, but that cuts really deep on a lot of different ways, that like is genuinely emotionally fulfilling and well done. And when things go well, they're like some of the best fucking things you've ever seen. When things but there are times like this that are like, it just seems like they went too far, or they didn't they like, there's some things where it's tied together and weaved in so well with the rest of the story, and then there's things like this where it's like, if they had mentioned Kaguya earlier, like way earlier, like as if
in like the start of Naruto, we were told the creation myth of Shinobi.
Yeah.
And she was like known,
or not even just her, but like maybe her and not the tree, or maybe just the fruit, and like it's said that chakra existed before, or
if it was like almost like a cautionary tale of like a even the apple situation.
That's what it is.
Yeah, but if that was like well known throughout Shinobi culture, maybe each of the villages or what, like different areas had their own like sort of version of it, but it was all along the same, like, you know what I mean? But it just, to me, I feel in my heart that this was not planned from the beginning, and this is something that was come up either by the author or perhaps at a suggestion of the editors wanting to take it to that next level. And I don't think it was a good thing, because it seems like it was barely even that long ago that
it was maybe
they brought
10,
her
20
up.
episodes ago.
Like,
I mean, like in terms of canon episodes.
Yeah, but and that's what makes it so frustrating, is because the arc that was going on, Madara, Obito, everything, even like the reincarnation of like that, and then even they took it the step further, and then it's like they were the reincarnation of the two brothers. But even that had been kind of seeded for a long time, because we had heard about the two brothers back in the Itachi stuff originally. So like everything else had been so like deeply ingrained into the story and how the story was going to play out.
And some things were later, like Sage of the Six Paths wasn't until the Pain arc, when it seemed like they were originally, instead of the two brothers, they were originally setting up, like it seems like they did the same thing. Again, you finish what you're saying.
I was just going to say,
I'll go back into what I was saying.
Even for the stuff that they may have added later, there's a lot of things, a lot of different theories to be had about like where things changed, how things were going to go. Was it originally supposed to end at the Pain arc? I kind of think so. Like how I
changed my tune on that a little
really?
bit, but
I think there's a possibility potentially.
I think that in terms of thinking of how maybe it was established, how they were thinking of it going
at the very
very beginning, maybe something like that would have happened, and then maybe a fight with Naruto and Sasuke, or some sort of resolution.
How it's all come along. I just think that Kaguya is by far the weakest piece of lore or addition, or
100%.
It's not even that cool of a story. It was just, there was this tree, and one day a fruit was on it, and this crazy bitch took a snack and then became all powerful and had a child who was like, you thought he was powerful, but even compared to her, he was not that powerful. I don't know.
They did the similar thing, and this is fully an unfounded theory. This is just my personal reading of the way that everything was plotted, from the beginning. Like, if I'm thinking about Part 1 Naruto and the Hokage and the first and second Hokage and Madara being introduced slightly later, it seems like they did a similar thing where, if you remember when the third Hokage was the guy, he was like Dumbledore. He was like the most powerful. Like, he was being built up as the best Hokage. First and second, the reason he could defeat and seal the first and second Hokage when they were reanimated is because at the time, the first Hokage was not the god of shinobi. The third Hokage was the god of shinobi. Because everything was on a smaller scale. They weren't thinking about pain, about Madara, about all that shit at that point.
It was just Orochimaru.
Orochimaru was the bad guy. He was the bad guy. And it's partly because Naruto's success after that point skyrocketed. It was continuing to grow. And it became like, okay, we cannot just end the story with just Orochimaru. We need to make it bigger. So we made Pain. He was the biggest guy. And oh wait, no, behind him is Toby. But it's weirdly conflated. Things get really complicated because of that. But my main thing I was going to talk about, I'm talking purely in terms of plotting, and this is just my interpretation, having rewatched the show up to this point, and thought about everything very critically, because that's kind of how we react to things. It seems like the first Hokage, that role as like the older sort of father-like figure that was like, you know, the leader, whatever, the guy who knows all the jutsu and everything, the fact that he knew all 6 chakra natures, he could use all of them. He was the only guy who could use all of them. You know who the next old father archetype, progenitor of all chakra, the Sage of the Six Paths, the Rinnegan, that was an ability there. So what I'm trying to get at here is, that role was originally filled by the third Hokage, and then Madara and the first Hokage were then sort of thought of as the 2 brothers of the Sage of the Six Paths sons. And then things sort of, and then it just like goes further back and further back. Then it's the Sage of the Six Paths, which did come a bit later than would have been optimal, but it was early enough to where you could accept that there was this like Buddha type figure who did not, you know, who is not literally the DNA father of all shinobi, but created the art that everyone uses. And it was seeded early enough and taught early enough that when we saw him, it was like, okay, we're spending a little too much time talking to him, but whatever. It's like, we knew something like this was going to happen. And then, so it didn't feel out of place. It felt a little bit forced, maybe a little bit, but it wasn't out of place. With Kaguya, they literally just like, oh, we need to make it even bigger, and just tacked on that part. The Sage of the Six Paths was already, and like, it could have just been the Ten Tails emerged again and broke forth or something.
Or it could have literally just been Madara.
It could have just been Madara.
Ten Tails, because
they already resurrected the ancient evil, you know? The ancient evil guy.
He was already so powerful.
Yeah.
Like, and then they just brought her, and she has no personal stakes in this. She just is a literal god on Earth.
But the thing is, even when we learned about her backstory, it wasn't, like, the way that Madara is, like, recounting all of this, and we could rewatch it, but I don't think it's worth it at this point. The way it just, like, the way that it's written, it seems really, like, thought of last minute and sort of cobbled together. The way that he's explaining it, it's just, like, because he starts it off and, like, Kaguya is this, like, lady, like, she's a queen or something, or a noble of some sort, and she's warring with other people, and then she eats the fruit and then wins the war that she was fighting. And it just seems weird, like, when we learned about the Sage of the Six Paths, it was like, it's like, so I don't know, it just feels so not like that, like there's not that progression between eras, like it's like,
it seemed
I don't know,
like
it's hard to describe.
Originally the Sage of the Six Paths was like in like our history, like very far back in the days, but then when we bring in Kaguya, it's like, was this like there was a previous entire civilization,
Yeah.
world structure that was vast and, like, advanced in the way they, like, because when we hear about, even, like, in Madara's time, they're, like, running around in their own little groups and fighting against each other, and then they built villages and, like, expanded that way and have been going forward from there ever since. So when you say, oh, there was, like, a fucking kingdom and, like...
Yeah, it's like when you compare the way, especially just in the way that it's told, it's like the way that the Sage of the Six Paths story was told was very cryptic. There was a lot of holes. It was a very simplified, there was this guy, he was a sage, he sort of, like, there wasn't detail of wars, of this and that. When he was first introduced, it was just this fairy tale. It felt very fairy tale-ish, the way that it was actually written and constructed and presented to us. When we hear about Kaguya, it feels like a recounting of history. It seems like we were hearing about this cosmic, like, there's a lot of metaphor and a lot of, like, weird things that don't match up with real life. It's, like, exaggerated. There's things that don't really, like, match up, but it seems intentional, and it seems like they're crafting a religious backstory and like a fairy tale, like something that is folklore that it's actually
wasn't
real.
Ingrained into the society. I think that's my problem, because if it is such this legendary tale, like creation tale of shinobi, but like literally no one except Madara knew about it ever.
And then the fact that it's Black Zetsu is also like, when we see Black Zetsu and White Zetsu together, it's Black Zetsu and White Zetsu originally were never supposed, like, you could tell from the time they were, like, watching Naruto. The first time we saw them, they were just a plant guy watching Naruto and Sasuke fight. And as it evolved, White Zetsu became more of a thing, but it didn't, like, at what point do you think that that Kishimoto or the editors or whoever thought that Black Zetsu, like, when did they decide Black Zetsu was going to be
like it was this episode? Like, it literally seems like it was,
because another thing they added was that Black Zetsu rewrote the Uchiha Stone Tablet somehow, not having, I mean, maybe the fact that it's like that idea is so ridiculous to me, because he doesn't have a Rinnegan, he doesn't have a Sharingan, like, he has the chakra of Kaguya, so, like, I guess, but it just seems like,
I would also like to say that, like, literally a couple episodes before this, he was like, I'll record this for future or whatever. Like,
he said that before.
I know, but I'm saying, like, if he's part of this, who's he recording it for? Kaguya himself? I'm sure.
That was just a callback to that's always been his thing.
So.
That was just his ability. That was just his jutsu that he could do, is that he could record things, and he would often record things and show them to Pain or Obito.
Yeah, I remember he could do that. I'm just saying, like, I don't know. And yeah, I think also the fact that it's Black Zetsu does make it seem just cheap, because he was, like, barely a character and was just kind of,
and, like, the fact that, especially when we go back to, like, Obito's backstory and seeing all, like, because we did see from the tree all the White Zetsu hang from the tree, but it was more like, I think at that point the whole function of showing that was alluding to when they created or farmed all the White Zetsu and stored them underground, because the Ghetto statue was connected to this tree or whatever, and, like, they used that to sort of create and clone White Zetsu for the sake of this war. But no, we're meant to believe that, like,
all of those White Zetsus were just being stored underground, and they fucking popped out. And then they were useless as well, so, like, I don't know why you'd want them as, like, your army.
Yeah.
Or how you'd, like, how she apparently won a war with these...
Nobody else had chakra, that's how.
Oh.
Nobody else had chakra.
That's true. That's true.
It sucks to, like, the problem with talking about this right now is that there's still stuff left. I was going to save a lot of this stuff because I wanted you to be able to enjoy it, but I know you. I'm not influencing you by saying this. I'm trying to let you know that you're not alone. There is a significant portion of the fan base. It's kind of 50-50 whether people forgive this edition or think that it's just, or whether they understand it, hate it, forgive it eventually because the rest of the story is so good. Mm-hmm. Or are just like, no, it's good, it makes sense if you think about it, don't question the lore, don't question my immersion in the story, this is the best thing ever, fuck you, shut up. Like, a lot of Naruto fans are kind of like that. And it's sad because, you know, it's okay to not like Kaguya. It's okay to think that they went a little bit too far with the ancient evil stuff. They should have just kept it at Madara. He was ancient enough and evil enough. They could have made it even more ancient if they wanted to. You just needed a couple more Hokages in between. But again, because of the way the story was crafted at the beginning, there was 3 Hokage, 4th one died, and it's just this all is rooted in the idea in the sort of shackles of the way that everything was established in the beginning of Naruto with such a short scope because they didn't know it was going to be this popular.
What the thing is we complained the entire time that the lore, the history wasn't long enough. But then they didn't just extend it slightly past that. They fucking took it so far back that it was just unnecessary.
They didn't need to.
That's what I'm saying. The Sage of the Six Paths was a good enough folktale, but true history. But the real part of it had kind of got lost along the way, and it was just this sort of idea of this guy who was the sage, and he did all this stuff.
What if instead of now fighting Kaguya, they just I guess I won't get into that. Because that's how they could have written the stuff after it with the ending. It's kind of a spoiler. I'll talk about what I think the ending or what I think the final battle people thing should have been once we get past this final fight. But I think we should get into the episode, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
Are you sure you want to?
Can we just take a break for a second? I'm gonna grab a drink.
Okay. All right, we'll be right back, and then we'll start. Alrighty, let's get into it. Naruto Shippuden episode blah blah blah. I forget the thing. Because we recorded the intro already.
I will say, her hair is goals.
Those two ought to be okay. But Sakura, don't make any careless moves right now.
He grabs her hair.
These two, they are Hagoromo and Hamura's. They are Indra and Ashura.
Gakugan.
Oh yeah, I also forgot the Sage of the Six Paths had a brother too.
Yeah.
And it was Hagoromo who gave them the jutsu.
What are your intentions?
Ninshu. No, you said shinobi. It's futile to speak to you about that, when all you do is tamper with chakra without knowing its true meaning. This place, this land is my precious nursery, and that means I cannot let it be damaged any further. So let us put an end to all this fighting. Huh? Then... here, that is. I shall erase all of you here instead.
No way! Is that lava below? To Genjutsu? No, this feels different. Summoning Jutsu!
Sasuke! Over there!
Yeah.
Help them!
Sasuke's not fucking around.
Pretty fucking slick.
For Obito. He just pinned him to the wall with a kunai.
Sorry to be so rough with you, Obito.
No!
Oh.
I was right. It's not a Genjutsu. She summoned an alternate dimension all around us.
Naruto, I'm going to be completely frank with you. Our whole world will come to an end if either of us dies in this fight. Only your Six Paths power of light and my Six Paths power of shadow can seal away that being in front of us. If we're not able to do that, humankind will be exterminated. Kakashi-sensei and Sakura just happened to be near you when the Infinite Tsukuyomi was launched. That's all. You understand, right, Naruto?
Yeah, I get it.
It seems like it would have almost been better
I
if they
know what
had
you're
got
saying, and
like
that you're
trapped
right.
up in the tree.
But still, this is also one of those times when your body just moves on its own. Like on that bridge. You beat him, Sasuke! Why did you save me?
You should see the look on your face. You look like a total loser.
But why? Why'd you save me? I didn't ask for this!
I don't know why. I just did. My body just moved. There was no time to think. Loser.
But never mind that. Because I know, and you get what I mean too, Sasuke.
Back then, maybe Sasuke did act subconsciously. But thank you, Naruto.
Damn it! No!
Byakugan, damn it. My Hawk's chakra points were hit.
Fucking gentle hair.
Shit.
I'll have to use Susanoo.
Meanwhile,
Why didn't she just kill them? Because it was too beautiful in her garden?
I think she did try to kill them.
But she brought them there. Whoa.
Madara's rods are disintegrating. At last I can move.
To the spot where I sensed that massive chakra. I might learn something.
But that chakra suddenly vanished. I've got to get to Naruto. Just one more time. Naruto, you can levitate?
6 paths power.
Right. When he was enhanced by Six Paths chakra, Madara levitated too.
Naruto
Nice.
can fly.
He can fly.
Yep.
Shadow Clone Jutsu!
Just like, I can do it. I can just fly now. This is dope.
You act triumphant just because you have a special accoutrement. However, no matter what kind it might be, all chakra belongs to me and me alone. Now, one more time. I shall reunify all chakra!
The soundtrack kicked in.
Yeah.
New track.
I like it.
Straight up Jojo. It's literally Jojo.
Sasuke! No!
Whoa. I do really like this new song.
Fuck.
Oh my god. His sword.
Snake sword. Stopped his spinning.
Sasuke!
Even Susanoo is useless.
Let's get Obito down while we have the chance.
How are they not burning alive right now?
6 pass power.
Kakashi and Sakura?
6 pass power.
She is creepy when she doesn't talk, and she's just like,
You see those claws? Another new track.
Children, with whom I shared my chakra. I can't move. Now, come to your mother. Sasuke, she's taking our chakra.
Kaguya seems to see her children when she looks at the two of you. Isn't that sweet?
Why did Six Pass Super Gramps seal away his own mom?
Have you seen her?
Just who or what are you?
I am Kaguya's child.
His aura suddenly seems different.
I recorded everything that happened while Mother was gone, and molded it as well. The tale of Shinobi is the tale of restoring Mother.
It's what? What does that mean? What are you even
is he the
talking
other
about?
brother?
That you know
That, like-
Mother's name. I knew that it was possible, depending on the reincarnate's power. And to receive the power to seal away Mother as well. You two know nothing. Let me tell you her tale while I absorb all of your chakra. Mother was sealed away previously by her own children. Was said to have been most powerful seal. The jutsu that transformed Ten Tails into a catastrophic planetary devastation core and turned it into the moon.
We knew about
But
that.
just before the seal
From
took
Pain.
hold, she gave birth to me in order that she could one day be restored. I'll show you all of it. I don't have any candy to give you, but the puppet show is about to begin.
Yeah, okay.
So, what do you think of that episode?
Really like the new soundtrack. I will say that the old one was getting a little bit stale. And these were both, like, I think there's two new tracks in this one. Both of them were really good. And the fight's pretty cool. Naruto can fly, which is pretty nice. So, like, a lot of this, like, a lot of the stuff with, like, Naruto and Sasuke is, like, pretty good. Like, I like what they're doing with that and how they're, like, flying around together. I have no idea why we're in a lava pit. She just, like, teleported them there, I guess, for a dramatic backdrop to this fight. Because she's so... I think it has something to do with what she was talking about is, like... It's like she doesn't want to contaminate the area of her nice little plants.
It's like it's like the world, like the Earth that we know is like the Garden of Eden, basically. And she is Eve.
Yeah.
Basically, is the idea.
So she took them to this underground volcano lava pit area. Which is stressful because, like, Kakashi and Sakura and I guess Obito's still alive and he's there too. And they're just, like, almost getting burned by lava I don't know how they're still alive, honestly. But it does raise the stakes, because I'm like, if they die by falling into this lava, I swear to God, that will be the final straw. And for Kaguya, I think it's better when she doesn't talk. Like, I kind of wish she just, at first, like, I kind of just wish that she didn't talk at all, because when she's just silently gliding around, it's freaky. I don't even really like her, but it's freaky.
It's effective.
And very effective when, like, her hair is billowing out and she's just like, whoosh, flying forward. It's really creepy. It reminds me of, you guys probably won't know this, but you'll know this, in Narnia, in the last battle when they see him like flying through the woods, and it is just like the creepiest thing you have ever heard in your entire life. That's what it reminds me of when she's like coming out of there dead silent, just like it's
I feel like she talks an adequate amount. Maybe a little bit less, but I feel like if she didn't talk at all, it would feel worse. Like, I feel like her talking makes it a little bit better. Like, the amount that she is makes it a little bit better and feels like a little bit less out of nowhere because there's, like, something to it, you know what I mean? Like, if she just didn't say anything, then it would feel like, oh, you didn't even bother to, like, give her any kind of personality.
Yeah, I guess I think that it is good, but I also feel she's most effective when she's not talking.
Well, here's why I think that might be. It's because what Kaguya kind of represents, and I was going to save this for later, but I think it's okay. This part is okay to say now. She's like Mother Nature. She is the ultimate, like, root of everything that Madara unknowingly brought forth. That's like a big thing in anime that, like, it ends this way a lot of different anime in this way. It's a common thing for, like, the main villain to, like, tamper with things beyond their control and then bring about an even more ancient evil that is, like, in this case, she both kind of represents Mother Nature and, like, the Holy Father in a way, meaning, like, both chaos and order in one thing. She's more the chaos end because she's like Mother Nature. She gave birth to order, the order that is the Sage of the Six Paths. If you think of it that way, like, in a religious sense, there you have nature, and then out of nature comes comes order, or, like, the person who created Ninshu, basically. And brought an order to the chaos and sort of it brought it into, like, a different way, a controllable sort of power. So that's basically what it is. That's a kind of a bad way of explaining it, but that's essentially what it is. And so it's not like Kaguya doesn't make any sense metaphorically. Like, in terms thematically, I think that Kaguya, there is a place where Kaguya makes sense. I think that you can explain it in a way that it's not grating against, like, the themes and the sort of pulse of the show. But the problem is it was introduced a little bit too late. But in terms of, like, the whole chaos and order thing, shadow and light, the duality between things, it does kind of make sense. So, yeah. I won't ask, I guess, if you're enjoying it. We'll wait till you get a little bit further.
We'll keep going and see how it is.
So here's another thing: is the next episodes are a flashback arc that. Hang on, let me check the filler list. It is a filler arc. That explains sort of the history. And I have not seen this arc. I didn't bother watching because I was also kind of checked out of the whole, like, all this shit. I'm not sure if we should watch it or just skip it. I guess I could look through it really quick, but
we should have asked about this.
We should have, yeah. I'll look into it. It's listed as filler, and there's a little bit of canon bits in between there. I'll look through it, and then we'll see. But,
okay.
Yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one. Anything else you want to say?
No.